If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed, a child.
The mic. I don't know why it's so finicky, but it's Metallica Monday.
Metallica Monday. Metallica!
Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully it's not country, Alika.
DJ Ben is up tonight with a full lineup of only Metallica. And it's all from the same album, I might add.
Oh, is it?
It is.
What's
one
the name of the
album,
record?
and you're gonna put it up for the timestamps.
Oh, okay.
The name of the... Oh, wait. Do we have DJ Ben up here yet?
Has
all DJ arrived?
DJ arrived. Ben, there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Hello. Dwayne, every time, he always says the same thing. Dwayne, I did realize
what did
that
he say? Sori lied to me?
Sori lied to me. I did realize that the post that was up on Patreon that I've literally been announcing over and over... is this coffee?
Yep.
There's coffee.
Okay,
so the post that I put up on Patreon was supposed to be public so anybody could access it. Turns out it was not. It was a paid post. It was behind the paywall.
So this whole time you're like, what's wrong with Dwayne? He doesn't...
Yeah, and then I saw that. I was like, oh shoot, let me fix that. So that's been fixed. And then I posted it on Facebook and stuff so everybody could get it. Everybody could get to it. Oh well, it's that lie. I never said such a lie. I never knew Dwayne was such a liar. Anyway, so that's where we are. It is now public. Anybody can access that and see the rest of the streams we have coming up, you guys. Tomorrow night is the second half of Fallout series. So,
man, okay.
If you're interested in that, be there.
Audio's cutting in and out.
It's just every time you move and it clips. I wasn't watching it.
Good thing. Still so finicky.
That's why I usually put it on that side, but I don't know.
Okay, we'll put it on this side.
I really don't care. You said that there was an issue when it was on the other side too, so
you take that
I'm just
one?
untwisting it.
You take that one, I'll take this one.
So it's not hooked in any calls. Audio and video has stabilized.
Okay, stabilized. We're gonna get right into this. This is Metallica. Do we have... I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Don't get the jam.
I'm gonna cry. Oh, my favorite food in the world. Tell her to get my jelly. All right.
I did.
So, one thing. We are reviewing a full Metallica EP. They're one and only as far as Ben knows. And if Ben only knows that, then you can depend on it. This is probably their one and only one.
Okay. Metallica... I'm just going to read what our DJ has to say to us tonight.
Hate Train? Is that the name of the first song?
No, I wasn't going to say that yet, but sure. It's Hate Train.
That's going to be interesting.
You can give me the timestamp. 16:58, so I'll go 17.
Yeah.
Okay. Metallica Beyond Magnetic EP review, 4-track EP. This EP will always hold a special place in my heart. Remember, this is DJ Ben. As it was the first work by Metallica that I got to buy brand new on release day. This was actually a group of leftover tracks from their 2008 album, Death Magnet, that didn't make the cut. And when I first heard them, I was wondering why. Regardless, this is a stellar release from December 13th, 2011. We will be using the same link for all 4 songs, but each song will be reviewed individually.
That record was not called Death Magnet. It was called Death Magnetic.
Excuse me. Apologies. Our daughter is an author, and I read her books. I love reading her books. And as I read the chapters, I always blunder some of the words, and then she thinks that she made a mistake. She'll be like, oh no! And now she's really starting to realize it's just mom screwing up some of the words. I homeschool our children. Regardless of what it looks like, they are all brilliant. Thanks to Vinny.
Well, nobody's ever debated the brilliance of our children.
No, that's true. Facts. Here you go. Here's some jelly for you. Ooh, that's a lot of jelly. All right, let's check out the first song. Who do you think would do that?
Johan. First song! I'm going to put this up here. You said magnet. Get her, Ben.
Ah!
Don't let her fill you with her sugary lies.
Sugary lies. It's Magnetic EP.
Death Magnetic. Can we start?
So the first song is Hate Train. Let's check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves.
The Hate Train. Holy hell. Is it the first one?
Yeah.
Through 7. Okay. Here we go, guys. Hate Train, Metallica, DJ Ben, Vin and Sori. Let's go now. That song was in their EP.
Yeah.
Death Magnetic.
Yep.
Yeah, we used to call it the B-sides. I don't know what they call it now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But sometimes these B-side songs are crazy. Like Jay-Z did an entire like concert of just his B-sides and all that stuff. So we're in good shape. Don't worry about it. Okay. So Hate Train. So that record wasn't good enough to make it to the actual record? What the hell?
Apparently not.
Shout out to Overshadow Sean. Did anybody hear it at the end of that solo where it was like that descending like?
Oh no, I didn't really do it.
I feel like I've heard that before. Hold on, go ahead. Talk to the people.
It was heavy, like the.
Yeah, give me a second. There was this one part in the solo with Kurt
that you want to talk about
hell?
specifically.
What the hell did you do, Kurt?
This is one of those songs.
Anyway, there was a part there. I was like, I was gonna write it down. To be fair, aside from the original production on Death Magnetic, it's an exceptional record. I mean, it must have been a pretty exceptional record if this song didn't make it up.
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, like, yo, if I came up with this song, I'd be like, I've got the greatest song of all time. This is the greatest metal. This is going to change the game. Everything's going to be different after this song. Metallica's like, it's in the B-sides. Nobody will probably ever hear it. That's real talent. That's real talent. That song was better than every song on the LP.
Oh, really?
I haven't listened to Death Magnetic straight through. We've covered 2 or 3 Death Magnetic songs that have been on that record, but the record as a whole, no, we haven't done that. So that was interesting. Sori, that was heavy metal. Okay.
Metal?
Well,
yes, it was.
You know, it's election season.
Uh-oh.
So our overlords have discovered that as long as we hate each other,
Man.
and as long as
Listen.
we view our fellow Americans as somehow beneath us for holding a different position, you be ready, dear listener. They're about to exploit that emotion like you would not believe.
Mm-hmm. I was watching this thing where it was a family, and they were just fighting so much over politics in the living room. I was like, it's just dividing us. And there was, that might have actually been on a Y-Files. If you guys get the chance, check out the channel Y-Files. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, he was talking about like distractions and stuff like that, which makes sense to me. Like, I never know if something is like considered, you know, like the tinfoil hat type things, like if it's conspiracy theories or something like that, or if it's like, but I mean, it would make sense that the government would throw distractions out there when stuff is going on that they don't want us to really know about. But regardless, the way that we handle our politics, and then when we were talking to Ian yesterday or Sunday, and he was talking about, you know, where he is, that it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Both sides just fighting with each other, and we can never come to a mutual like understanding or love for each other and expectation of human dignity for everybody. And I don't know.
Well, that's kind of.
I had like this childish dream about crayons, and the crayons.
Childish dream as in when you were a child?
No,
or
I
you
was
were
a grown
child
woman
in your dream?
having a dream that was childish in nature because it was crayons talking to each other. And the crayons were like, yeah, everybody should be blue. And the green was like, everybody should be green. And then it was like, they were all fighting. And it's like, no, we like a full, like.
You should become a children's author. I guarantee you. You'd crush it. Okay. Hate is a train that thunders aimless through my head. Ooh. And hate is the fame chained to the wheel until I'm dead.
What do you think he meant? It's the hate is the fame. Do you think that's what gives him like people notice? Like, obviously if you come out there with like a hateful message, or you like hate, like, I don't know. I think that people click on videos that are loving, but I also think that people like to see fighting.
Well, I mean,
what do you think he meant by it? When he said, "Is the fame?"
Well, he got famous by singing about the shit he hates, right? Especially like, and this is kind of, it doesn't matter if you're a metalhead or if you're a hip hop head. The first couple records are usually the grimiest, the rawest, because they say you spent your whole life writing your first record.
Yeah.
So all the things that you've been through.
Right? That makes sense.
And so when they get rich and have a couple kids, then they're like, yo, this hatefulness is not really helping me. Or John, like, the dark shit's not really helping me.
Yeah.
Like, it helped me in my 20s when I was a rock star and everybody was encouraging my various pathologies.
Hi, Season.
But that's how you get famous. You get famous by being miserable and angry. And then all the people that you touched when you were miserable and angry are still in that same place. And so they want you to stay in that same place. And if you don't, they'll say, you're a sellout, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Right? Like, that's one thing I'll say about, like, rap is, like, when a dude gets out of the hood and, like, is successful with himself and all that stuff, like, it's cool. Like, he can sing about his yacht now. Like, he doesn't have to act like he's still on the street, getting shot at and all this other stuff. Like, you're in a yacht. In hip-hop, we're like, okay. But I don't think that rap fans love rappers the way that metal heads love their people. I think one of the reasons for that is that the extreme side of what you saw in rap was, you're talking about shooting people, you're talking about doing severe damage to people, and that's just not something most people can carry.
Yeah.
Like, most people have never shot anyone in their life.
Yeah.
Most people have never attacked anyone with a sharp object. You know what I'm saying? But with Metallica, it's like the feelings that you go through. Hey, shout out to Peter Silver. the things that you go through as a metal fan, when you find your band where the person knows what they're talking about as far as like the emotion, and you get a lot more attached to them because it's a lot more realistic. You can be a Metallica fan and not shoot anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like the bond that you have with a metal band is just not the same as the bond that you have with a rapper. It's just not. It's not like, especially with me when we were growing up. Like, it wasn't necessarily even being a fan, because like that was bad if you were a fan. It was just like, I just appreciate his lyrics. I just appreciate his lyrics. Lyrically, blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think some of it is he got famous by being hateful. And then, in metal, like, recovery and non-toxicity it doesn't do good for your career. Chained to the wheel until I'm dead. Rage is a flame. Crazy. Creates a touch to boil the seas, and rage is to blame. For every sorry I shall be, and from a darkness I descend, clenching a torch of sweet revenge.
It's crazy because when he says that, like, creates a touch to boil the seas, rage is a flame. So it makes it sound like the rage, it like puts the flame obviously onto the water, and then it boils the entire seas because it's so deep, it's so hot, it's so angry. But like the seas, like, that's a lot of water to boil. I don't know, like a watch pot never boils type situation. I boil a lot of water.
What's that girl you like? I set fire to the rain.
Oh, I don't know. I'm so bad at this.
Adele.
Is so. Oh yeah,
Adele.
I haven't listened to her in a while though.
How's the one you listen to her and then she broke up with that dude as a black boyfriend, and you're like, oh, I like this. You know what I'm talking about?
Hello.
Yeah.
But then she came. I'm not gonna go into it, but she came out with a song that like super disappointed me, and then I was pretty much done after that.
Who?
Adele. It was just like she was like, it was ending of a relationship, but it was so juvenile the way that she was handling it, and basically, so I just didn't like it.
Well, I mean, she just left the guy.
Yeah,
she got
that's
famous.
What I mean.
She got
like,
famous.
It just seemed like
she got famous. She lost 50 pounds, and then she's out with LeBron James's what do you call it?
Just the way that she was like singing about it in the song too. I can't even remember which song it was, but it was just like, it was basically like, I can't remember.
So was it a song about revenge?
No, it was, but it just, we were talking about bands like when you want them to stay in a certain bracket, and then when they go outside of it, like I wanted her to grow.
I'll,
So
I'll tell you what, man. Like, the desire for vengeance, the desire to, like, square it up with your opponent is an extremely destructive temptation.
yep.
And I'm not even saying that as a Christian. I'm saying that as a person who is watching people that could be my parents or grandparents just completely hold on to insane levels of
Oh my gosh.
pathological,
To their own
obsession.
See, that's the thing. What's that verse? You told me about that freaking years ago. It was talking about like the person that holds coals in their own hands or in their own lap. What was that verse? Maybe it had something to do with adultery or something like that, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, no, I mean, it's bless and do not curse, and then there you'll be heaping burning coals upon their heads.
That's not the one. You just go ahead. I'll find it.
I don't think you'll find it.
Really?
I think this is one of those classic. You're combining
It could be.
wisdoms with whatever.
It could be.
So yeah, like going around and like being a person.
You talked
that
about
obsessed,
holding the coals like
yeah,
that.
That's just a metaphor that I used.
Oh well, it was so real. I thought it was.
So yeah, like, and I knew this guy one time, and he was responsible for a group of people, and so they had their little team nickname or little catchphrases. And some of these guys would patch it up and like actually wear it. And the catchphrase was "Embrace the hate."
Okay.
Embrace the hate. Look what they did to us on 9/11. Blah 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 blah.
Embrace the hate.
So now we're gonna hate them. Embrace it. And
it was about adultery. It's this one. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. Yeah, that's why I said it. Maybe it was about adultery, I said. But I feel like it works for vengeance too.
Oh, no,
like when you hold on to your hate.
Bless and do not curse, and so you will be heaping burning coals upon their heads.
Yeah. If you or
that has nothing to do with that passage.
Yes, I know, but I said there was one about coals in the lap, which is this one. Can a man scoop fire into his lap? That's the verse. But then I said, wait a minute, maybe it has to do with adultery. After I said it, but the concept I think is still there.
Not at all.
About rage, not in this verse, but the idea of what rage.
I mean, I used the metaphor, so obviously I agree with you. It's just not a scriptural principle.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I see that now, but I definitely think that the idea is.
So the phrase "embrace the hate." Look, man, that's a pretty austere environment. And regardless of whether or not you're supposed to be in Afghanistan, well, you're in Afghanistan. And, you got dudes in situations where you get a lot of young people, like young Marines that like to think of themselves as like, like when we went through Normandy or whatever and we were marching through the streets or whatnot, and all the French people were giving us roses and all the little French 19, 20-year-olds would go up and give our boys a kiss on the cheek and all this shit. And so dudes were like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're going to kick the shit out of some terrorists. All these people are going to love us. Yada, yada, yada. And so they're handing out, a chem light. A chem light is basically, it's a little pack and boom and all this, right?
What happens with it?
It gives you some light, but the kids like it because it's like colorful. And,
oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so... Dude went in there and killed the kid's father.
Oh my god!
And then you have to, you gotta exploit the site or whatever and get the intel and bounce. But they took all the kids and put them in this, the side room. But the kid had saw his dad his dad's feet are still in the, you know what I'm saying?
Feet are still wet.
I mean, he's on the ground and his feet is hanging out the room. I mean, they don't have like large houses and things like that where everything is separated. A lot of it's just,
Yeah.
This guy gives you a chem light, you know what I'm saying? And he was having a hard time because he's like, the kids looking at him like, well, thanks for the chem light, man.
Oh my god.
So like,
it's a glow stick.
So
right? Is this
what, a
it?
chem light?
Yeah. When I looked up chem light, this is what it came up.
I mean,
is this not it?
Yeah. I mean,
Basically
a kid would look at it like a glow stick. Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly. So like, and then you think to yourself, well, what is? He was talking to us about like being careless and stupid. And it's like, we just created a guy that your kids are going to have to fight. Mm-hmm. Was sort of the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still unsure that embrace the hate in that context was necessarily a wrong thing to do. Like the emotions that we look upon, it was really interesting. It remind me of something because the guy was talking about distress, which is stress that comes about because something is disordered. And then he talked about eustress.
Sounds like my type. Okay,
He
go
talked
ahead.
about eustress, and when it's you, it's EU stress. And that is actually good stress. Like a eulogy, that prefix "you"
Yeah.
means something good. So you could have eustress in the sense that if you hit the game-winning shot in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, all your vitals would appear as being elevated. So your heart rate would be elevated.
Yeah.
Everything would be elevated. So the same markers that we look at as stress when you're distressed are the exact same markers when you're overly happy.
Okay.
And so there is a sense in which extreme happiness is also stressful on the mind and body. It's one of the reasons why when you're mega happy, you crash.
After
because
you get tired.
Yeah, because you have to. Hey, DJ Nick in the house. So like it's a really crazy balance that you have to take. You know, especially if you're. I mean, like you're going to kill people.
You're talking. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
But what is the different types of distress and like the two?
Well,
things that you
distress is, your buddy ran over an IED and you didn't get a status on him, so you're distressed. It's stress. Your heart rate's elevated. You're hyper vigilant. All that shit. But you're interpreting it negatively. Where again, eustress would be. If I'm looking at your body and your heart rate and your pulse and all this, your body reacts to massive success the exact same way that it reacts to things that terrify you.
Yeah.
And so you have distress and then you have eustress. And so when you look at this song, what you want, really what you want is some form of contentment. And that's why you have festivals like every quarter or something like that, because eustress is stress on the body. And so you can't have a party every day. And that's the reason why a lot of these rock stars burn out and everything, because they're overdosing on eustress, because they're getting a bunch of, you get a bunch of adrenaline when you're under stress because your body's saying we have a fight or flight mechanism and you need some extra. You need some extra motivation to go and fulfill this because you look like you're in trouble. It's the exact same thing that happens to your heart rate when you're celebrating. So the point is like a lot of times like this stuff, it really blurs the lines because you got people that are running on hate and distress, but then they get a minute of euphoria, which is again the EU prefix. They get a little bit of euphoria when they kill the person. So it's like I had distress because you're gonna shoot me. Now I got you.
Now you have the other type of
and I'm looking at all my teammates. Everybody's clean, so now I got eustress. We're all going, yeah, blah, 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 blah. There's gonna be a crash.
Wow.
Right, and
okay.
When you talk about hate training and embracing the hate and things like that, like it small doses, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, like there is a level of aggression that you have to get to if you're gonna protect somebody. But the cost is just way too much. And he's talking the entire time I listen to this song. There's the Proverbs is really simple. So I didn't like it as a kid growing up. And Dorian, my oldest, he's like, yo, this is like the most worthless book of all time. I thought he said about
the Psalms.
He didn't like any wisdom literature. He didn't like Psalms. He didn't like any.
I couldn't believe
he didn't like Job. I was like, well, read Job. It's a proper one. He's like, yeah. He's like, ridiculous. That's my son. He said that in the middle of church too one time.
I remember him saying they were basically like worthless.
Yeah.
I think he's since changed his view on it, but you were not horrified. You just let people figure out, okay, exactly how you're reacting now was more or less like your disposition. You weren't.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not gonna force my religion onto the kid.
Yeah,
know? It's like he thought the thing was stupid. But anyway, there's a wisdom in the Bible that says the wrath of man does not accomplish the glory of God. And I think that a lot of times when we talk about justifiably angry, we're saying, I have the right to be angry because you did X, Y, Z. It's like, yeah, man, it's true. But like, that's the problem with the world is everybody's like fighting for their rights and nobody's asking what are my duties.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like, and that's why it's a really terrible thing to send people to war, because you make young men have to embrace a certain kind of dark aspect of their nature, and you're telling these young people that this is the ultimate form of love for your country, is you turning into a hateful monster.
Yeah.
And so like it's a hate train, and you really can't get off once you get on. Because by the time you get on, you've already done so much shit to feed that monster. Like, I like the train metaphor but I look at it as a one-way train. Like, you're never going to go back to that state of existence if you allow hate to penetrate your psyche.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why and I always say, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I don't hate anybody. But at the same time, I don't hate anybody, but there are things that I do that would look like it's hateful to other people, but to me, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, when I was growing up, somebody hated you, they're going to put some blood on the ground. So to me, it's like, look, there's no blood on the ground. I'm not going to do nothing to you. You're not going to do nothing to me. We're fine. But people aren't like that. They're like, we used to talk all the time. We're not talking anymore, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand that shit.
Oh my gosh, it's 68 degrees in Maine.
Allahu Akbar. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Nick.
I am not sorry.
I was in the ocean today. I love this state.
Florida woman.
Yeah, Florida woman. Yeah.
Just wait for it, guys. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I think, like, the other thing, too, about hate is it's sort of like it starts kind of taking you over. And once you hate,
100%.
it's easier to hate more. And
100%.
it's easier to become more, like, angry or like, hate more over, or get very strong feelings of dislike over things that don't really matter.
Yeah.
Like, you know when you're young and you see, like, older people getting, like, angry about stuff and you're like, bro, why are they getting so angry about that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna end it all, man. That's
how is this happening?
If I'm not corny and petty at fucking 70, it's over with. God, just come on, man.
Just come on. Yeah. So...
No, leave her. You come.
No. You're so bad. But yeah, it just kind of, I don't know, like, you're like, misery breeds more misery and you become more and more miserable. So yeah, I just think he says, wrath is the name, branding suffer unto you, and wrath takes the shame and holds me down until it's through.
But again, man, I'm not trying to compare Metallica to war fighters or anything, but it's that classic, the thing that you get famous for is also the thing that's destroyed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's human beings have to figure out how to maintain that stasis and find that balance. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, it's going to be terrible. I mean, look at our country, man. Like, it is so easy to get people to hate one another. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
It's so true. Like, the whole, like, Palestine, Israel thing, like, that was really, really messing with me, because
that's why we had to restart the Bible Boogies. We're taking the long way, but the Bible Boogie is really about trying to figure out this Israel-Palestine stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
Like, obviously the way that we believed growing up, the Jews were like God's special people, blah blah blah, and so, like, mad money was getting sent over to help them out and stuff, and it was really like the Jews pray for the Jews, and I still think that's great. We should still be praying for people and stuff. Yeah, it was just like, pray for them.
This is the way you're talking. Like,
well, the way, yeah.
If the thing goes out to stay tuned. Also, I love my life. It's the most I've enjoyed my life ever. I have no intention of harming myself. So if anything
happens, we didn't do it.
Or others.
But I started noticing, like, the more interviews that were coming out and the calloused way that they were talking about what they were doing to the Palestinian people, like, it was really, really messing with me. And I started noticing, like the way that I was, like, telling stories was like Anna a little bit. Like
Casparian?
Yeah.
Dershowitz!
Like, Dershowitz. Like, I could just see, like, that it was happening to me. And I felt like I found myself on this, like, you know, like the teeter, like the seesaw. It was like it was like this, and it was like, hey, which way you're gonna tip? Like, if this is a decision right here, you got to make right now. And I was like, sometimes it feels so good to like embrace your hate and like go into it and be like, fuck them, fuck them all. Like, I don't know why. Like, it just feels good sometimes to just embrace it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But I was like, I've seen what happens like when I let myself become that person, and like it like felt like it was like eating me away. And I thought to myself, I do not want to go down that path. And I was like, how do I stop myself though? Because they're not going to stop persecuting the Palestinian people right now. And it was also roughly around, I like randomly decided I was going to start like scrolling around on Twitter, which I am probably never going to do again in my life, because I saw way too much violence in such a short span of time. Like, it was horrible. I hated it.
Tried to warn you.
Yeah. It was just too much. So anyway, I was like, what do I have in my, like, how am I going to prevent this eventuality? Because I could feel it. And I was like, okay, the Bible says pray for your enemies. And I'm like, how is this even going to work? But for some reason, I started praying for them, and it did. Like, I'm not saying like I'm completely good with the situation. I am not good with the situation, and they need to stop what they're doing over there, obviously. But at the same time, like, I don't feel, I noticed a decided change for how I was feeling, like, in regards to them. And I was glad for that. So yeah.
You're glad for what?
I was just glad that there was like such a simple solution. And sometimes I think that God is only looking out, like, he's looking for our intentions. And so my intention was, I don't want to become dark with hate, and I'm trying to obey what you're saying here. So I'm going to pray for them. Instead of saying the negative things that are in my heart to say, I'm going to pray for them, and I'm going to pray that they see that what they're doing for what it is, you know? And so I just started praying for them, and it really helped. And I've actually done that about a number of situations where I could feel myself like going to the dark side. I just like started praying about it. It changed it around. Like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm like completely reformed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still, you know, but it makes a difference. So.
All right, I'm going to give this one a 9.5. Freaking Metallica, man.
This one was funny for me because there was parts that I was like, yeah, that's right. But then there was other parts where I was like, I can see why this one didn't make it on their other one.
What?
Yeah.
This song?
Yeah. But
Crazy.
There was a lot of parts that were like heavy, and did you feel that it was a little bit like progressive in a sense?
No.
It had a lot of switches?
No.
It didn't have a lot of switches to you?
I mean, it was a 7-minute song, so there's some rhythm changes and things like that, but don't do that to Metallica. They're a real band. They're not out there trying to be no progressive, whatever. Cool.
Okay, well, when I say progressive, what I mean is switches. There was a lot of switches. So there was like a lot of times that things changed in the song.
Isabel's song has like 6 or 7 pace changes and rhythm changes. They're not progressive. Stop doing that to Metallica.
Listen, I'll say what I want to say.
I mean, go ahead.
Metallica's progressive.
Listen, Lars is not above suing fans. He did it during Napster.
Oh no, it's
he
opinions.
Said, they stole our music without our permission. It's like, yeah, Lars. I mean, yeah. Usually, if you steal something, it's without your permission. Just choose one or the other.
Isn't that the only way?
9.5 for me.
I'm gonna give this one a solid 9.
9. We're returning. We just started. Metallica. Ben Sori. Holy hell, that was a very long review. Sorry, Ben. See you on the other side of the break.